Food is coming along fine, guys. Got all the wrinkles out. The customer will love this. Oh yeah. All right, guys, we started on the pool project. We'll finish when we get back. We at the airport now, about to hop on the flight here to the other house in South Florida. And I see y'all once we land in Lauderdale. As soon as the elevator get here. Oh yeah. All right, let's get on the catwalk. I see y'all on the plane. Be at the house, but I decided to come out right quick. Look at this shit. All right, guys, this is your favorite president. He's in town. Here he is, guys. Oh yeah, brushing down good, man. At the Kiki's. All right, guys, it's the next day, obviously. I'm gonna go over there sleep. Somebody turned 13 tomorrow. What it do? Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all saw y'all president playing over there, Trump. I guess he at the house for the weekend. We about to head to Fun Depot, have a little fun arcade, eat some pizza and crap. And then we'll call it a day, man. Tomorrow's birthday, we're gonna have a big dinner tomorrow after school. So let's get through this rain and have some fun. YouTube, I just beat him on the racetrack. Tell him who won.
He crashed into me.
Man, I ain't crashed, man. I made him spin out, so I won. Now we're finna go on laser tag.
I'm showing you to the front desk video.
Boy, he lying. We're finna go on laser tag now. Yo. I ain't there. Oh yeah, we out here, man. YouTube, we at the bar, drinking liquor. Y'all look at YouTube. No, I'm joking. He had lemonade, y'all. Don't call DCF on me. Nice little Sunday evening vibe, man. All right, guys, this might be the greatest birthday gift I can give him. He don't even know. I got the whole Florida Panthers to sign a whole stick for him for his birthday. He don't even know it. His grandma pulled it off. I don't know how she be coming up with these connections, but Grandma Nina came through again. My son got the whole Panthers team signed stick. Why they going to the Eastern Conference Finals? All right, YouTube, birthday weekend for my son over, man. Didn't really post too much. I was focused on him, man. We headed back to the airport. We're gonna fly to Lauderdale. I had a bump right here. That just driving me crazy. We're about to catch a flight back to home. And yeah, we'll rock it with a video when I get back to the house, man. But first, let's return this rental car and get to the flight. I'm finna say plight. Get to the flight. Oh yeah. And if you look right here, this is the place where they make those Jeeps with the 2 axles. This is SoFlo Customs right here, guys. That's where they make them Jeeps at. All right, guys, we're here. Another day, another flight. All right, guys, here we go, man. On today's news update, man, we're going to be talking about Forward Air shareholders filing a class action complaint over the Omni merger. Now, this story is brought to you by the guys over at FreightWaves.com. That's FreightWaves.com. Okay, what we're hearing now is the plaintiffs asked Tennessee court for damages following share price meltdown. Now, the reason why I'm showing this to you guys is basically that this is going to be happening with a lot more other trucking companies at the top of the food chain, where the board members or the CEOs are trying to line their pockets. They're going to pull some finesse moves without letting shareholders and employees know. So let's check it out. Shareholders of Forward Air are asking the Tennessee court to rule the company was required to give them a vote before it could execute a merger with Omni Logistics. The class action complaint also asked the court to rescind the merger and for unspecified damages given the precipitous decline in the transportation provider stock price following the deal's announcement. A Wednesday filing in the 3rd District Chancery Court in Greenville, Tennessee, where Ford is headquartered, listed the company and its board members who approved the transaction as defendants. The listed plaintiffs included Cambria County Employees Retirement System, which owns just 585 shares, and former employee Michael Roberts, who owns 5,000 shares. Roberts served as a senior vice president for the company for 23 years. He was party to an injunction action last year which temporarily blocked the deal. I guess they meant to say he was part of. The complaint invokes many concerns cited by shareholders last fall, primarily that their input was intentionally deprived by the board and is doing so the board breaches fiduciary duty to shareholders. Ford has contended the deal structure didn't require a vote from shareholders as it represented less than 20% shift in voting control at closing. However, shareholders say the company didn't meet any of the expectations to the voting requirement as stipulated per Tennessee law, and when including class of convertible preferred shares that were part of a deal consideration. The transaction represented a 35% change in voting rights requiring a vote. So, it wasn't a 20% shift, it was a 35% shift. The class action complaint claims the law counts both shares issued at closing as well as other convertible securities, meaning a shareholder vote was required. Oh, damn. But rather than giving shareholders that say they will do, the director defendants intentionally manipulatively, what kind of words is this? Manipulatively structured the merger for the sole purpose of depriving Forward Air shareholders of the opportunity to vote on it, the complaint said. Which means, obviously, people trying to make some money, guys, trying to line their pockets. Shareholders would get a vote of sorts on the deal. They have been asked to approve the conversion of the preferred shares. That was one of the few items on the company's proxy statement that was filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission on Monday. It also included the company's slate of director nominees ahead of June 3rd's annual shareholder meeting. The complaint said investors are compelled to vote for the conversion because failure to do so will result in a 14% dividend or approximately $94 million in payments in year one. That unpaid balance will get rolled into a $677 million liquidation value of the shares, resulting in dividend payments equal to $110 million in year two. Forward Air has just $18 million in cash on hand at the time of the August deal announcement, which the filing said would have left shareholders with a little choice but to vote for the conversion. Wow. So they don't have enough money, which was going to force them into the conversion. If shareholders continue to reject the conversion, the liquidation preference and concomitant dividend would, bro, these words, I know I'm not the only one tripping, dog. What is that? Concomitant dividend will grow exponentially from there. The complaint said, thus shareholders have no real choice but to approve the conversion. Insane. That's crazy. The filing said the board is largely insulated from reprisal given the swing of voting power to Omni's private equity backers. What's the point of having shareholders if y'all gonna force them in to do whatever y'all want to? Wow. Fucking insane. What kind of stuff is that, man? The group has 3 spots on the board and is required to vote its shares in favor of the directors nominated by the board. These voting agreements mean that the director defendants have entrenched themselves against any future shareholder backlash. Wow. Wow. After getting pushback from shareholders, Ford tried to exit the deal, alleging Omni breached the agreement by not providing timely disclosure of financial information and by misrepresenting the financial projections. However, Omni said it performed all pre-transaction requirements and called on the Delaware court to force Ford to closing the table. So Ford was trying to make some money behind the shareholders' back, and then Omni did them dirty. They tried to back out of the deal, but Omni was like, oh, no, y'all coming. Y'all ain't got no choice now. Wow. The 2 companies set ahead of a trial, and the deal closed in late January for a total of $2.1 billion. The actual purchase price was reduced from initial $3.2 largely to the decline of Ford's share price. The transaction terms included a fixed number of shares to be issued, not a fixed dollar amount. Oh my God. Ford closed the first quarter with $1.77 billion in debt, $172 million in cash, and $340 million available on undrawn revolving credit facility. Net debt to adjusted earnings before tax, interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization was 5.5 times when using a 12-month trailing circulation stipulated by debt covenants. The company didn't say if it would be able to cash flow positive in the second quarter. Man, Ford Air immediately responded to a request for comment. They didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. However, recent SEC filing acknowledged the potential for a future class action complaint from shareholders. The defendants disagree with the allegation of the proposed amended complaint and will defend the matter if and when the amendment complaint is filed. The company said in the first quarter filing. All right, guys. Reason why I read you guys this story with all them crazy words I ain't never heard of before. And I'm very articulate and well versed, but dang. This is what's happening in trucking right now. Companies are so desperate, they're willing to do backdoor deals with other companies with under the table merging. While doing so, they're screwing over the employees, which are the shareholders, and then they getting screwed by the big dog. Omni forced Ford Air into the deal when they tried to back out and say, hey, hold up, you guys ain't doing it right. Oh, nah, you coming with us. You jumping into the bowels of hell with us. Now, Ford Air has now been ate up by Omni. The shareholders are screwed. What's going to happen? Them shareholders, them employees are going to end up winning that lawsuit because they require votes and it didn't get votes. So Omni forced them into the deal. People didn't get to vote on it. So what does that leave Ford Air? What does that leave that trucking company? Ford Air is a pretty big company. I'm not going to lie. You always see their trailers around. You see them on the side of the road. You see them at truck stops. Ford Air is all over the goddamn U.S. and Canada. So what does that say about a company as big as Ford Air? They only had X amount. What they say they had $18 million cash? Bro, that lets you further know that companies are failing. They came out and they said they're operating in the negative right now. They have a negative cash flow. They're in the hole over $1 billion. They're not going to cash flow in the second quarter of the year, which means they're probably not going to cash flow the third or fourth quarter of the year. Trucking is going bad fast. It is trending backwards. This is why I say, guys, pay attention to your companies. Pay attention to the meetings. Pay attention to your stock accounts. Pay attention to what's going on. There's a saying, you want to hide something from a man, well, pretty much a black man put it in the book. You want to hire something from a trucker, put it in a newsletter or put it on Freight Waves. A lot of people don't read Freight Waves, but I co-sign Freight Waves because they are on top of things, and these are all confirmed stories. So if you're out here at these companies and you leasing on and you using these people trailers, you better be on top of what's going on, because shady dealings like this goes on every day in the trucking industry. It's like mob brand. For Ford there to try to make a quick buck with Omni, and then Omni screw them over and they try to back out and they can't, that pretty much straps the shareholders. They can vote, but they vote really don't matter. That's crazy. So you guys just pay attention to what's going on, man. But that's all, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me this weekend. I'm finna go shower and press it clean, and I'll see y'all on the next one.